It was all very, very specific. Which brings me to a thing that I used to do with Winters, which was very useful in digging into each of the characters, each of the members of the company. Yeah. I would often ask him, what's the one thing that stands out when you think of Liebgott, when you think of Moose? What's the one thing that immediately pops into your mind about them? You know? And I asked him about Zelinsky. Yeah. I said, what's the one? Because he said Zelinsky was kind of a dopey guy, you know? Not dopey and stupid. He was kind of a dopey-looking guy.
Right.
Goofy looking, I guess. But he said the one thing that stood out were his eyes. These scintillating... His eyes were so alive and young and full of promise and innocent, and it's like they sparkled.
Oh, my God.
And I said, really? And I said, so, I mean, I got to ask you, what would you think if I told you that on that fateful day, I got a call from Tom in London saying, what was it that you told me about Zelinsky? And I said, well, it's his eyes. Oh, right. I remember that. Okay, thanks.
Wow. Okay. This is interesting. So
kind
you
of
remember
puts a whole
getting
new spin on it, doesn't it?
So you got a phone call from Tom, and this is, you know, because part of me, I haven't been able to talk to anybody who was part of this experience. I spoke to my agent the other day, and she had no memory of the Dead Eyes thing. And I started to think, you know, the way memory works over time, you retell a story and you change it and you add things and you're never aware of it. And I started to think, maybe I lost my mind. Maybe I somehow put this in to my memory. So this is such a relief to me to know that this was part of the conversation.
Well, but the problem is it wasn't. I just wanted to suggest that as a possibility. It never happened. But I thought it would be kind of interesting to just sort of explore the possibility that the one thing about Zelinsky were his eyes.
Eric, sorry. I can't believe you punked me on my own podcast. This is devastating to me, Eric.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, pal. I mean, I can't, on the one hand, if that were true, it would sort of puncture the whole podcast. It would sort of be the end of it all. And I don't want the podcast to end. I think you have too much left to explore. But Eric, it would be a delightful thing if it were true.
This is, honestly, if any other guest than you had done that to me, I'd be furious. Because I really thought you were handing me the Rosetta Stone. I thought you were giving me the key to this.
I know.
Oh, well, I know.
I couldn't resist, though. He also shows up in episode 10. I mean, he didn't show up we didn't shoot it, but in the original script for episode 10, Zelinsky does show up again with coffee.